A top story. Two women, a 27-year-old Israeli tourist and a homestay owner were allegedly gang raped by three men in Karnataka. 2 out of the 3 accused have been arrested. The incident occurred when the victims were stargazing on the banks of a canal in Koppal, about 350 kilometers from tech hub Bengaluru, with 3 other travelers. The accused pushed the 3 travelers into the canal before targeting the women. One of the co-travelers was also found dead. The scene of a horrific tragedy that has shocked the nation. What was supposed to be a magical night under the stars turned out to be their worst nightmare. 5 travelers in Koppal, Karnataka were attacked, and the 2 women, a 27-year-old Israeli tourist and a homestay owner, were raped near Hampi. As they sat stargazing after dinner, 3 men on a motorcycle approached them, first asking for petrol and then demanding money. When refused, they turned violent, attacking the group, pushing the men into the canal and then sexually assaulting the 2 women. 2 of the men managed to swim out and raise an alarm, but the third, Bibash from Odisha, was not so lucky. His body was found this morning on the canal bank.
ಅವರುಗಳು ಊಟ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಒಂದು ವಿಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅವರು ಮಾತುಕತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾಗ 3 ಜನ ಯುವಕರು ಅಥವಾ ಪುರುಷರು ಮೋಟರ್ ಬೈಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ವಿಚಾರಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡೋಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೇಡ, 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾದ ವಿವಾದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಗಳ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ 3 ಜನ ಯುವಕರು ಈ ಏನು 3 ಜನ ಪುರುಷರಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಆ 3 ಜನರನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲುವೆಗೆ ತಳ್ಳಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. 3 ಜನನ ತಳ್ಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅವರು 3 ಜನ ಕೊಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಳಭಾಗದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಯಾರು ಡ್ಯಾನಿಯಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪಂಕಜ್ ಅವರು ಈಜಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ.
The women are currently being treated at a government hospital. Authorities have assured that they will be provided medical and psychological support.
So based on the complaint given by the victim, we had registered attempt to murder, robbery and rape case at Bengaluru Rural Police Station. And based on the information we had, we have arrested 2 persons today. One of the person is Handi Mallesha alias Handu Handi Malya. Another person is Chetan Sai. Both of them belong to Sai Nagar of Gangavati. We have to arrest one more person. They have given his name also. Very soon we will be arresting the other person.
Yes, I came to know yesterday. I checked about it. Already our police has recovered 2 people. Still one has to be recovered. And midnight they had gone for some watching that stars, I was told. Police is investigating. We are taking action as per the law.
A vacation turned into a nightmare for these tourists. With 1 dead and 2 women assaulted, Karnataka police are under pressure to swiftly bring the culprits to justice. With Nehal and Anushka, Bureau Report, NDTV. News now from Manipur, where there's tension in the state. Reports coming in of the death of 1 protester and over 24 people who've been injured in the violence. And this as the inter-district bus routes resumed operations in Manipur after months of unrest. Few tribal groups have also called for a shutdown. In fact, Manipur police have also claimed that 27 security personnel have also been injured. Remember, there's currently president's rule imposed in Manipur. Let me go across to my colleague Ratnadeep for the latest. Ratnadeep, at the moment, what is the situation? This, of course, comes in just days after the deadline for surrendering arms had in fact ended, but still there's tension which the administration has to deal with.
That's right. In fact, today, after the review of the security scenario in Manipur by the Union Home Minister last week, the centre had decided that free movement of public transport with security escorts would start from today, and accordingly buses of the Manipur State Transport with security convoy of central forces had left Imphal for Churachandpur and Kankopi and Senapati via Kankopi. Now, while en route to Churachandpur, there were no incidents, although there were no takers for the bus service as well. But when the Manipur State Transport bus, which was followed by a security convoy, had reached Kankopi district, there were protesters who did not allow the bus to ply, and therefore the security forces had to use force. There were pitched battles between the protesters and the security forces because the protesters from the Kuki-Zo community had said that they are not, they would not like the free movement to start before their core demand of a separate administration in Manipur is resolved, and therefore there were these protesters who were in hundreds who came on the highway. According to police sources, the security forces had to use force. Where there have been a death of one person, several protesters are critically injured.
Right.
Some of the security personnel have also sustained injuries, and now the Kuki-Zo civil society groups have called for an indefinite shutdown from midnight, protesting against this escalation, this flare-up, and there would be a shutdown in the Kuki-Zo areas, even as the situation has turned grim. However, police claim the situation is under control.
All right. We will be tracking all updates with you, Ratnadeep. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the Rajasthan cabinet has approved the Rajasthan Coaching Centre Control and Regulation Bill with an eye to curb student suicides in the state. As per this bill, registration of coaching centres with 50 or more students has now been made mandatory.
कानून लाए हैं और जो बिल लाए हैं वो इन कोचिंग सेंटरों पे, कोचिंग संस्थाओं पे उन पे नियंत्रण करने के लिए ये बिल लाया गया, जिसमें 50 या 50 से अधिक बच्चे जिस कोचिंग सेंटर में होंगे उसको इस दायरे में लेंगे और उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी अनिवार्य होगा। और उसके अलावा अगर कहीं न कहीं वो गलतियां करता है कोचिंग सेंटर जो नियमों के विरुद्ध, तो उसके लिए हमारे पेनल्टी का भी प्रावधान रखा गया, जिसमें एक बार अगर है तो गलती करिए तो उसके लिए 2 लाख रुपए, उसके बाद में हमने 5 लाख रुपए, फिर भी नहीं करता तो उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल किया जाएगा।
मानसिक दबाव हमारे विद्यार्थियों पर इतना पड़ने लगा कि सुसाइड करने तक की घटनाएं होगी, जो हमारे लिए दुखद है, परिवार के लिए और भी दुखद है, और समाज में इसका ठीक समाचार नहीं जाते थे। सरकार काफ़ी समय से महसूस कर रही थी कि जितने भी हमारे कोचिंग सेंटर है उनका कोई न कोई नियम होने चाहिए, नियमों के अनुसार चलने चाहिए, और इसीलिए अब 50 या उससे अधिक विद्यार्थी जहाँ कोचिंग कर रहे हैं उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन अनिवार्य है, और रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाने के लिए नियम बनाए गए। अगर उसकी पालना नहीं करेगा तो उसमें पेनल्टी 2 लाख, फिर दूसरी बार करता है तो 5 लाख, और फिर अंत में उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल इत्यादि के प्रावधान रखे गए, और पेनल्टी रिकवरी के लैंड रेवेन्यू एक्ट के अनुसार उसके रिकवरी के प्रावधान बनाए गए, ताकि समाज में एक वातावरण जावे। हमारे कोचिंग सेंटर हमारे लिए ज़रूरी है, वो भी पनपे, लेकिन नियमानुसार वो पनपे, विद्यार्थियों को कोचिंग दे, क्वालिफाइड ट्यूटर रखे, मनोवैज्ञानिक रखे, ताकि विद्यार्थी फ्री होकर उसकी रुचि अनुसार शिक्षा प्राप्त करें।
News now from Punjab, and a multi-storied building collapsed in Ludhiana, leading to the death of one person. 5 others who were injured were also pulled out from under the debris and rushed to the hospital. Now, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri has said that it's too early for the government to share details of the trade pact in the works between India and the US. This just a day after US President Donald Trump said that India has agreed to cut tariff for the US. The Foreign Secretary said that negotiations are currently underway and it's too early to comment on it.
I know there is a lot of interest in the statements coming out of the United States. I will not get into that at this point in time because these are ongoing discussions, so it would not be right to get into it. But I would only point you towards the fact that we have in recent times entered into bilateral trade agreements which are based on tariff liberalization with several partners. There are ongoing discussions with several other partners on these issues now, and I think the ongoing discussions should be seen in that context as well.
Meanwhile, a fresh diplomatic standoff between the US and Iran. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has in fact rejected any nuclear negotiations, saying that they will not relent to the demands of a bullying country. His remarks come just a day after US President Donald Trump claimed that he had sent a letter to Tehran seeking negotiations on a nuclear deal. Donald Trump had said that Iran has two choices, either to make a deal or to face military action. But Khamenei has now made it clear that Iran won't negotiate under pressure. Meanwhile, our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar inaugurated the new Indian consulate in Manchester, United Kingdom, strengthening India's diplomatic presence in northern England. He met with UK Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, acknowledging her support in establishing the consulate. Discussions focused on India-UK bilateral ties, trade expansion and fostering people-to-people exchanges. Jaishankar also engaged with the Indian diaspora there and business leaders at Old Trafford, reinforcing the growing partnership between the two countries. Now, Justin Trudeau's time as Canadian Prime Minister is coming to an end. After nearly a decade in power, Trudeau announced his resignation earlier this year, leaving the Liberals in search of a new leader. The frontrunner is Mark Carney, a former central banker, and he has never held any public office, but now he's being seen as the man to steer Canada through another storm, a looming trade war with Donald Trump. As the Liberal Party prepares to announce Trudeau's successor, all eyes are on Mark Carney as he stands on the brink of becoming the country's 24th Prime Minister. Take a look at this report.
A man most Canadians barely recognized months ago now stands to be the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Canadians have a strong sense of resolve. We're going to stand up collectively for Canada, and we're going to build our economy here in Canada first and foremost.
Mark Carney, a former central banker, is expected to take over the leadership of the Liberal Party, succeeding Justin Trudeau, who announced his resignation earlier this year. Carney will have just months to rebuild his party for a national election and protect Canada from Donald Trump's tariff threats and even annexation.
The discussions with the Americans, the demands of the Americans change, or at least of the President, change on an almost daily basis, as do the timelines. Let's see what the situation is in the middle of March.
Carney's story is unique. Born in Canada's Northwest Territories, he grew up in Edmonton, studied at Harvard and Oxford, and spent 13 years at Goldman Sachs. In 2008, he led Canada through the financial crisis as the Bank of Canada's governor. In 2013, he became the first non-British citizen to lead the Bank of England, steering the UK through Brexit. But Carney has never been a career politician. His rise began in 2021 when he aligned with the Liberal Party. By late 2023, Trudeau's popularity was plummeting. When Carney was offered the finance minister post in December, he declined. The move triggered internal turmoil, ultimately forcing Trudeau to step down. Carney now presents himself as a financial expert, not a typical politician. His campaign pitch was simple: fix Canada's economy and push back against Trump's trade threats. When Trump joked about annexing Canada, Carney shot back: "We find you attractive, but we are not moving in with you." A line that went viral. While Carney's background makes him ideal for managing economic turmoil, it also paints him as an outsider, a banker who spent more time working for foreign governments than his own. Yet Mark Carney's international clout could work in his favour. European leaders like Emmanuel Macron and former UK Chancellor George Osborne have praised his leadership, seeing him as a stabilising force against Donald Trump. For a man who built his career behind closed doors, Mark Carney now finds himself in the heart of Canada's biggest political storm. Winning the election would be a milestone, but holding on to power under the looming shadow of Trump will be his real test. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV.